I was watching an interview with Billy Porter. He's a famous actor, and he's openly gay. All right, and he was talking about how he grew up, and he can remember in the beginning, during the beginning of his life, when he was up to about 5 years old, his mother placed him in therapy because he had a lot of infant ways. He was evidently raised around a woman and just picked up a lot of her ways and mannerisms, and someone suggested that she place him in therapy to kind of man him up. All right, and she did that. Well, when this little boy was in kindergarten, and he said he was in therapy for a year, and eventually the therapist spoke to his mother and said, "Look, there's nothing wrong with Billy. You just need a man around the house to teach him some manly ways." Therefore, a year later, she married this guy um, who eventually began to sexually molest him because he had those intimate ways. And he said he was young. He said his stepfather molested him from the time he was 7 years old to 12 years old. And that, in his mind as a child, that's what manly things were. And it kind of messed up his head. And he felt unsafe in his environment. And he was unsafe. He was a child, for goodness sake. And that's how it instilled in him, that stronghold, that spirit was instilled in him. And he felt like that's the way that he should be. All right. I feel so sorry for him. My heart went out to him because I've heard several stories similar to this from grown-ups who stated that they were molested as children by an older relative, um, and it kind of turned their sexuality. It changed them, and it made them feel some kind of way. When I was when I was in college at Fayetteville State University, about 100 years ago, I had a boyfriend who shared with me his story about how he was raped by his sexually essayed, cross that out, TikTok, by his older cousin. And they were playing under the house, and that's what happened. He was attacked. He didn't even know what was going on and stuff, and it messed him up. He ended up dying in the morgue. He was in the morgue for weeks before anyone found out who he was. So, we eventually went out separate ways, but that's a different story, okay?